How we doing, guys? And it's finished Arsenal 4, Wigan 0. Comfortable. Exactly as I expected it to be, what I wanted it to be. And I actually really enjoyed that game. We got the job done early. And we dispatched Wigan exactly how we should have done. You know, get the job done and then kind of go through the motions, get some players minutes in their legs. Make sure all of the main players that are going to be involved moving forward, starting the game, your Declan Rice, Gabriel, etc., are all rested, not needed at all, and we can just move on. And it was such a really nice performance in the first half in particular. And it is always difficult when you go 4 goals ahead so early in the game, especially in a second half where you've got to try and keep going, go again. And it is difficult to keep that momentum continuously. So look, it was nice. I think if there were some parts of today that kind of leave you thinking, could do without that, then it'd probably be on the injury front again. Ben White came off, doesn't look too serious, but at the same time looks like there may be a little, knock there. And if it is, then that's another conversation for another day, because it's just continuing when it comes to Ben White. Calafiori, for the second time in the last 6 weeks or so, injured in the warm-up and doesn't play. Don't know what that situation is, but I'm really gutted for Miles Lewis-Skelly, because he was getting his opportunity in centre midfield. Finally, his natural position. And then Calafiori said no. And then Saka had to come into the side, kind of play that number 10 role. Not ideal, because you wouldn't want him to have played 45 minutes, which is all he played. And I think that was something that, Mikel and that would have said, get the job done, 45 minutes, off you come, ready to go again on Wednesday. I thought Christian Norgard, really, really good performance from him. And it kind of leaves the question of, why is he not getting more minutes? This is, Brentford's captain, or it was their captain, full international. He's a really, really good player. And every time he plays and I watch him, I think he can easily do the job. Don't have to constantly run Zubamendi into the ground. Norgard is more than capable of playing. And I've got no issues with it at all. Eberechieza, that is so much more like it. But now you've got to go and do that in the Premier League. It's all well and good doing it in a game where you're given space and playing League One opposition, but you've got to go and back that up in the Premier League games. And you're going to get minutes. You're going to be playing because of the injury situation that we're in. So hopefully that performance, and that assist for Madueke's goal was just so beautiful. I really, really like that one, the first goal. Brilliant finish by Madueke as well, by the way. And it's nice that he's scoring some goals at the moment, and that can only be beneficial to us. Own goal with another goal. He's flying at the moment. But yeah, no goals from a set piece. How disappointing. How frustrating. Martinelli, I think you can see with that finish why we were all so frustrated with the finish against Brentford. Use your left foot. But it is what it is. But yeah, listen, Gabriel Jesus as well. That goal, that was beautiful. The little finish, the little dink over the goalkeeper. Absolutely lovely. But yeah, listen, at the end of the day, I think that, bar those couple of injuries that I spoke about, it was a very, very good afternoon. And it kind of set us up nicely, going into what is a big week with Wolves on Wednesday and then Spurs next Sunday. Of course, the FA Cup 5th round draw is tomorrow, for all of you that don't know. And what I would say is that there's some big games in there, some potential big games, but there's also the potential for games that are more like this. And that's what I would like. In an ideal world, that is exactly what I would like, because I look at when the 5th round is, and it comes directly before, you know, a Champions League game. And it comes directly after we play Brighton away in midweek, I think it is. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, what you don't want is like a Liverpool or Man City, because they're just like, physically, mentally, they're just going to take a lot out of you. And when you've got the Champions League in there and everything else, and you're a couple of weeks away from, you know, the Carabao Cup final, and it's the last thing you want. And I think, if I remember rightly, it's the first leg of the round of 16 for the Champions League. So we would be away first, because obviously we get our home games second. You know, and it could be Atalanta, it could be Borussia Dortmund, it could be Bayer Leverkusen, it could be Olympiacos, and, you know, one of those 4 sides. And yeah, listen, it'd be just nice still, in an ideal world, Man City to get Liverpool, let those two have that tussle, and for us to get a nice home tie. I don't know. Top of my head, I'm thinking who's qualified and gone through to the next rounds. Southampton or something like that. With all due respect to them, but yeah, that's kind of what you want. You just want a nice, favourable tie that you can rest your main players, and then kind of worry about big games when you get to the quarterfinals, semi-final. So just one more. Give us a nice one. That's what I would like anyway. When I look at the... actually, let me have a quick look and see who the teams are. Okay. And we'll have a little look. And we'll see who's in there. Have they actually got who's in there? No, I've only picked up the dates there. So I'm trying to think. You've obviously got Liverpool in there. You've got Leeds United in there. Wrexham. That could be a nice one. I know that they're in there. Let's have a little look. Let's have a look. So you've got Fulham, Sunderland, Southampton, Wrexham, Chelsea, West Ham. Ooh. So there's some potential big games in there. I don't think that's all of it. I know there are some more. Wolves. Are Stoke City in it? I think Stoke City. I swear Stoke beat Fulham, didn't they? Did Stoke beat Fulham today? Let's have a look. Yeah, you can tell I've just got back from the game and I haven't even looked and seen what's actually gone on. But this will probably be the easiest way of doing it, actually. So Chelsea are into the next round. Wrexham are into the next round. West Ham, Norwich City, could be a nice home game. Southampton, Mansfield Town, that's it, beaten Burnley. Brilliant result for them. But a home game against Mansfield, whilst Liverpool play Man City, would be just ideal. Newcastle, Liverpool, Leeds United beating Birmingham on penalties. Wolves. No, Fulham did beat Stoke. I was right in thinking that. So, yeah, there ain't going to be that possibility of Arsenal playing Stoke and everyone going, oh, no, Arsenal playing Stoke. Ha, ha, ha. We're so funny. Sunderland. And then, obviously, you've got Macclesfield against Brentford, which is going to be a big game because Macclesfield on their pitch that's going to be an interesting one tomorrow. And I believe there's also Port Vale and Bristol City. So listen, the potential's there for a real big game that I just don't want right now. But there's also the potential there for a really nice, favourable one. Please. But yeah, look, listen, at the end of the day, we got the job done. And that's the most important thing. We've beaten Wigan. It's 4-0. And now we can move on to the real stuff, which is Wolves on Wednesday. Standalone Premier League game. Opportunity to go 7 points clear. And yes, Man City will have a game in hand. But I'd rather points on the board than a game in hand. And what that means psychologically could be massive. You know, even when they're leveling it up and playing before us, they can still only get to within 4 points. And we just have to keep on winning. Loads of twists and turns yet, but let's take care of business first and foremost. Wolves, Molineux, Wednesday. Simple. So listen, there we go. That is it. Straightforward, 4-0, lovely, relaxed. And it'd be nice if we could do that every week. But no, Arsenal like putting my heart rate through the roof. So there we go. You know what to do if you haven't already. Like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you lot very soon. I'm out of here.